Fast, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
That up there to take a look there at Mount Hood. Obviously a very nice day outside, so wanted to show this and just get a look at the outdoors. We're going to be talking about the outdoors just a little bit here in this segment. Hello everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thank you very much for joining us. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. As we do every weekday starting around 1 p.m., we go throughout the afternoon and we cover a wide range of topics here on this show. And as I mentioned, we're live from the newsroom. So what you see behind me is part of that. And while we're here for a lot of segments, we also do head out into the field, and that's what this one is going to be about. We headed down to Corvallis, Oregon to the Chintimini Wildlife Center. Now, you may remember a video that went pretty viral actually a few months ago about a barn owl that got caught in some barbed wire. Now, there were some people who rescued this barn owl, but they brought them to this wildlife center, which is one of their specialties, which is rehabilitating native wildlife from Oregon, the Willamette Valley, from really all over the Pacific Northwest. But barn owls are one of their specialties. And thankfully, I will say this, they were able to successfully rehabilitate that barn owl. And we have that video coming up during this segment, but we'll do that after the interview because we wanted to talk to them just about the work they do, about the rehabilitation, about what it takes to run a center like this, as they've been doing for so many decades. And let's go ahead and roll that right now. Alyssa, thank you for having us out. We're here, on this beautiful property, getting to see all kinds of things, but I want to know a little bit about the history of this center.
Absolutely. So welcome to Chintimini Wildlife Center. We're located in Corvallis, Oregon. We've been here since 1989, so we've been open for 36 years. We take in native Oregon wildlife from the largest service area in the state of Oregon. So we take patients from down in Eugene up to the Portland area at times, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis, everything kind of in between. And on average, we take in roughly 2,200 patients every year. Sometimes that number is bigger, sometimes that number is a little bit different. Every year is different, but it is a vast majority that we cover.
That's a huge territory. All right, and you said 2,200 patients, yes. Native wildlife. So yes. What kinds of wildlife are we talking about here?
Oh gosh, everything small from a little native deer mouse all the way up to a giant bald eagle. We take in mammals as well up to a bobcat. We had a bobcat actually last year. We'll get pelicans at times. We have foxes currently in care, lots of baby birds. This is the season of baby birds. We have a ton that are kind of around the clock feedings every sometimes 20, 30 minutes or more. Sometimes they require even more consistent care.
My gosh, yeah. I mean, that's a lot of patients right there. And I want to get into that side, but really quick, just thinking about that, all those feedings, how big is your staff? How does that work?
We don't have a very big staff, so even though we've been around for quite a long time, we're slowly and steadily growing. So currently, because we are in our busy season, we do bring in some seasonal staff as well. So we have 3 full-time staff members that are here year-round, as well as 2 seasonal staff members that kind of help with the busy season of everything, as well as a vet that's on staff that helps with our patients and our wildlife ambassadors that we have in the education program too.
Wow, that's a lot to manage right there. Well, talking about the patients that come in, so what are some of the most common reasons that you would get a wildlife patient in here?
It depends on the season. So this time of year, it's going to be a variety of different things. A lot of it is going to be baby animals. They might be orphaned. The parents might have left for some reason. We do have a lot of times where we have well-intentioned individuals in the community that think they found a baby animal that has been orphaned, and unfortunately that might not be the case. So people might pick up a baby animal, bring them to us when they could have just been left. So we always recommend call the wildlife hotline. We have that available. We have staff and volunteers who are manning it. It does get very busy during the summertime, so sometimes we're not able to respond all the time, but go ahead, leave the animal, give us a call, and we'll let you know if you're able to bring it in, if it is something that does need to be brought in, or maybe just monitor, because maybe mom and dad will be coming back. So a lot of times you do have those babies that are coming in. It might be something that got hit by a vehicle. We do have a screech owl that did come in earlier today or earlier this week that was hit by a vehicle. They might get displaced from their habitat. They might just be sick. Wildlife, of course, aren't always going to thrive. You have those individuals that immediately, once they hit that juvenile stage, they can just take off and take care of themselves. And of course, those individuals that need a little bit more help that are just not thriving as much.
So kind of like people.
Exactly, exactly.
Like so like an example with the screech owl that came in, hit by a car. Yeah. This person must have taken the owl and brought it straight here, or what would you do in that situation?
Yeah, so if something happens like that, you come across an animal that's been injured, give us a call, let us know. If it's something that obviously has a major break, there's lots of blood, something that you're able to visibly see, still give us a call, and if it needs to be brought in to us, we'll definitely take that in. Come to our property. We have a kiosk that's down at our lower lot with a Ring doorbell, and that connects our finders directly to our clinic, and so they're able to talk to whether it be a hotline volunteer or a staff member who will then come out, meet up, get all that information, and take that patient into our exam room for an exam for intake. Now, if it's something that, again, you aren't able to tell if there is an injury, go ahead and call us, let the animal be, and then give us a call so that we can kind of figure out from there. But yeah, please don't handle wildlife unless you've been tasked to do so. Always wear the proper gear as well. We don't know what this animal has come in contact with, so making sure you're wearing gloves, putting it into a box, and keeping it in a quiet, dark location. We don't want to be providing it food or water because this could potentially impact the care that we can provide here. We know a lot of people want to be able to cuddle these cute little animals, but it is very stressful for them. So we don't want to be talking to them. It could potentially lead to imprinting or habituation. So just making sure that they have a nice quiet location to kind of decompress before they come to us.
Gotcha. No matter how cute they are, do not touch them.
Yes.
Don't do that.
We know they're adorable. It is very hard, but for the best of that patient or that animal that you come across, make sure that we're trying to keep stress to a minimal.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. You know, you mentioned, there's all the rehabilitation side here, but there's also the public side that people can come down here and take a look. So let's let people know, where we're at. Absolutely. What can they come down and do? Absolutely.
So one of the things that we're able to do is provide tours as well as private encounters with our wildlife ambassador team. Of course, it depends on the day of what's available because we are very busy. We do have a very small staff, like we mentioned. So individuals can go onto our website, check out all the different options that are there, and then sign up online. One day we would love to be able to open up our Education Nature Center, and we are slowly working towards doing so, so people can just drop in during our open hours. But unfortunately, based off of the size of our staff and kind of how our facilities are set up, we do need to have all that stuff scheduled ahead of time.
You talked about the animal ambassadors.
Yes.
So I understand there is a barn owl ambassador that's been here for quite a while.
Yes, we have our barn owl ambassador, Bo. We have 10 native birds of prey that we have specific permitting for, so we can legally have these animals in our care. And they're non-releasable. They're non-releasable for many different reasons. For example, Bo only has one wing. He is not able to fly, so if he had been released, he would not have been able to catch food or fly on his own. So instead, he was homed with us, and so he lives in our ambassador program, does presentations, meet and greets like we had today, works with our interns and volunteers as well. That is a very valuable part of Chintimini, is our education program, as well as our volunteer program. Volunteers get to participate in a variety of different jobs and tasks across the property, and working with those ambassador animals is one of those very important ones, just like everything else. So helping with those presentations, those tabling, being able to educate the community, have that up close interaction and be able to see an animal up close and be able to ask questions, have that more connection so we can kind of foster stewardship to have individuals who want to continue this work on after us.
Wow, yeah. I mean, there is something about being right there in the presence. By the way, Bo likes backpacks. We found out as well.
Does really like backpacks.
So just a heads up. Now, there was another owl that was brought in that I know this was a big story because this is what first actually brought the attention to me, was this owl with barbed wire. Can you tell us about what happened there?
Yeah, so this was actually a wildlife patient. This was a great example of a finder just being out in the community, going on a walk and finding a patient that needed to be brought into us. So this barn owl, a young juvenile that's probably less than a year, had gotten himself caught on barbed wire fencing. That is something that we do see quite frequently. This isn't something that's natural to their habitat. So he was unfortunately dangling there with some pretty severe barbed wire wounds. They were able to successfully, with gloves, be able to contain him and bring him to us. They were pretty fast about it because something like that is pretty immediate need. And they pretty much recorded the step-by-step process bringing that barbed wire owl to our facility. For some reason, TikTok decided in the algorithm to really push this forward, and I think a lot of it had to do with the positive kind of outcome of that. Yeah. There's a lot of negativity on social media, and people are really supportive of just positive interactions and positivity like that on social media. So being able to get that owl in, kind of talk to individuals and let them know that, yeah, we're here. We're able to take in patients like this for individuals to see perfect example of it, because usually you hear about it, you don't actually get to see the step-by-step. We had every state from the U.S. donating monetary donations, items from our wish list, as well as 34 countries were also helping to support us. So it brought a lot of attention to Chintimini and the important work we do, and it was an absolute blessing for us because it was in the midst of our busy season, and it's a lot for us to do, and sometimes you need just a little uplift, and that definitely brought quite a lot of it for us. We still have that owl in care. It has come a very, very long way. It had some major barbed wire injuries, like I mentioned, very severely emaciated, and survived actually the first 48 hours, which we were very uncertain if that was going to happen. The prognosis was very uncertain, but we were still sharing with the community what was going on with this individual, because everyone was very interested, as are we. And now it has been upgraded into a larger outdoor flight, kind of off behind our forest. We have what we call our outback, that is outdoor rehabilitation enclosures. That is the last spot that a patient goes before it is released. So it's building up wing muscles, being prey tested so it can catch food before it can be set back into the native habitat that it's from. So keeping our fingers crossed, but we're actually feeling pretty optimistic now about this bird.
Wow, so on the way to potential recovery, just back out into the wild.
Yeah, that is the hope. I mean, we're always very uncertain about patients.
Yeah.
Wildlife can be kind of fragile and finicky, but the fact that this owl has made it this far is very impressive.
Well, Alyssa, thank you very much for having us out here. And just a final thing for everybody out there, just to reiterate, what's the best place for them to go to find out more information, to volunteer, help, donate?
Absolutely.
Any of the above?
Yeah, so our website is always the best place to go. We keep that up to date. We have staff that are always making sure that that is up to date with the best information for volunteering, tours, private encounters, events. Events are a very big thing here at Chintimini. You can also find out how to donate through that as well as our social media pages. Every little bit counts, whether you're able to donate your time, monetary donations, something from our wish list. We are always very excited for every little gift that we get. As a nonprofit, we are not state or federally funded, so we do rely on the generosity of the community, and we are so, so grateful. We have survived 36 years. We are a resilient organization, and we would not be able to do it without the community that we support.
Well, thanks for all that you do.
Thank you.
All right, so you saw that barn owl there at the end. That was Bo. That is basically the mascot there at Chintimini, and you can actually go see Bo. We were in there filming. The backpack that he was on was Ann Armstrong, who's doing the filming for this segment, and he decided that was his backpack and would not leave it alone. So it took a while to get Bo off of there. But that's not the only barn owl that you saw there. Of course, there is the one who was rescued and rehabilitated. And I mentioned at the beginning that that rehabilitation was successful. So we just received a video here, this was from 2 days ago, where they went out and actually released that owl, successfully rehabilitate. I've got it right here.
Listen, thank you for having us out.
I don't have it right there. We'll take that one off. But
you can see all kinds
let me
of
pull
things,
this right
I want to
up.
know a little bit about the history.
And we will get the correct one here for you. There we go. This is the video of this owl being released. The person holding the box is actually the person who found that barn owl. But this is showing some of that pretty incredible work that they do there. So successfully back out into the wild, released somewhere near Lebanon, Oregon, and went right back to the tree and back to doing what it does. So hopefully, we avoid some barbed wire fences there. But I want to show that one more time, just to show this release. Just again, this is part of what they do. So there's all kinds of different animals that they're releasing there, or that they're rehabilitating. But yeah, successful on that one. So pretty cool stuff, and huge thank you to them for letting us to go out there and check everything out. And thanks for joining us here too. Again, this is Fox 12 Now. We're live streaming here from the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. So that means we get to do some of these longer form segments. We can head out into the field sometimes, so feel free to send me an email, fox12now@kptv.com, if you have an idea for a segment or for something in here. If maybe there's a story that you saw at another show and you want to have one of our reporters do a little bit of a longer form, deeper dive on a topic that you were really interested in or wanting to know more about, we can make that happen here. So again, send me that email, fox12now@kptv.com. We've got more coming up here throughout the afternoon, so plenty to cover. And if there's breaking news, we'll have that as well. So I just want to remind everybody, this is the place to go during those times when our other news shows aren't on. We'll be here with that. So anything, especially between 1 and 4, 11 and noon, things like that, we will have that for you. Download that Fox 12 Oregon app. But again, thank you to Alyssa and Heather and the whole team there at Chintimini. And we'll talk to you soon. This is Fox 12.